Hey guys, I'm gonna make a video. I think maybe 3 videos, just describing some games that I've picked up in the months of November and December. So these games are basically before Thanksgiving, so the November time period. I picked up Golden Sun Dark Dawn. This is for the DS, and I played a little bit of it. I like the art style. I think it's still in my 2DS, but I haven't played it in a few weeks. Just a lot of games that I have over these last few weeks. But I'm glad I'm glad I picked it up. It wasn't too expensive. I think I got it off eBay. A game that I picked up with a coupon from GameStop. You know how sometimes I think they do the $5 off coupons if you accumulate enough points. I got Strange Brigade. This was like around $24.99. I think it's down to $19.99 now. Kind of wish I would have held off on it. I just like Rebellion. Some of the games that they create. The Sniper Elite series is just a game that I just tend to play a lot of those games just because I like that series. So I wanted to give this a try. Maybe played about 2 hours of it. Played a few levels. There's just something off by it. All of the shooting mechanics and stuff just don't seem quite as polished as the Sniper Elite series. You can kind of tell, it's obvious that it's just the same engine as the Sniper Elite series. It's just they tried to go a different direction with a different series. You play like a kind of a group of people that are explorer adventurers, and it's really campy, cheesy dialogue. There's like a narrator that talks as you do things in the missions and stuff. But I appreciate them trying to go a different direction with a different series. So not too bad. If you can get it for like $15, it'll probably be not a bad purchase. A game that I didn't pay $60 for, but I was able to find it on eBay for a little bit cheaper. Somebody was selling them for like $45. It was like a flash sale that I was able to track down and buy a copy. So for $45, I thought it was a good purchase. I probably have played maybe 4 or 5 hours of the game. And I haven't played it in a few weeks, but it's not to say that I don't like it. I just had so many games coming in that I wanted to try different things. I don't like to just spend all my time with just one game, but this is probably one I will put in a lot of time, and I would like to eventually beat it in the coming months for sure. It's really solid game. It deserves a lot of the praise that it has been getting. What else? This was a buy 2 get 1 deal. I think I had a coupon. I can't remember what the third one was. Maybe it's in a different pile. But anyway, I know it was from GameStop. And so Call of Duty World War II I got. I was hoping to get it for my Xbox, but I did not. Couldn't find a copy of it that was in the case. But anyway, this game I'm really negative about because I did not know this going in. I should have paid more attention to this little statement right here, because this would have made me not get this. If you're waiting to maybe catch up and play these games, because maybe you like to play Call of Duty just for the single player, I would say be careful with buying this, because it doesn't. I guess. What are you talking about? That's my daughter, Riley. It don't talk about this, but like there's like a 40 gig download that you have to download. You can't just you can't opt out and just choose no. If you want to play the game, whether it's online multiplayer or it's just the single player, like that's what I bought this to play, just the single player. You can't even bypass like the menu screen. You can't even get to the menu screen until you download like a 46 gig required patch. That's why it says required internet. So I can't even play this game. This game is basically a coaster for my coffee. Because, I mean, my internet is really slow. I don't even dare play online. I don't really have any desire to play online anyway. But it gave me like an estimated amount of time if I was to download this, and it was going to take like several days. Like it was going to be like 9 to 12 days. It was something around there, and that's how slow my internet is. And I have a decent router. I just don't know if it's just the internet service that I have. I don't really have a major desire to try to look into it to improve it, just because I want to buy games just to play straight out of the package, not have to deal with stuff like this. But this really upset me, especially for the fact that I don't have a lot of time to play games, and it took up like 2 hours of my life realizing that I'm probably not going to get to play this game, just because I let 2 hours go by thinking that maybe the download speed might improve, but it just never did, and I just deleted it and cut my losses. But anyway, that was only like a maybe $16, $15 loss. And if I wanted to try to get rid of it, I couldn't really make any money off of it. Nobody really wants this game anymore that's going to give me any money for it. So anyway, it's just a shame that I can't just play the game right out of the case. This is another one that I got with the buy two get one, and the buy two get one I think was a coupon that I was rewarded after Thanksgiving. But Dark Souls, this is like the game of the year for Dark Souls 3. It's got additional content that I didn't have with the original, so it was just one that I wanted to get before it was harder to find this. It is actually kind of getting harder and harder to find if you're just looking at like GameStop. That's where I got these two. But anyway, 3 more to go. A limited run purchase. This is a game that I had on Steam that is from Supergiant Games. Limited Run is the company that published it, printed it. But when I heard that Bastion was being printed, I thought that was awesome to hear. This game is kind of like an action RPG, kind of like a twin stick shooter. It's a really unique story going on. I mean, I think I played this before on Steam, and I didn't beat the whole game, but like the whole game is narrated by a voice that basically says everything you're doing. And it's interesting. It's got some interesting ideas, but everything is really cool. Like this is one game. There's very few games that like I pick up and I just like think about, okay, when I have a chance to play games tomorrow, I'm going to play Bastion. That's the type of game that this was able to create for me. Someone like I lose interest pretty easily in games. That's why I don't finish all the games that I buy. Sometimes I put in a few hours and I just start to lose interest and I don't finish them off. But this is, I mean, I just like top-down type of games. That's what this is. And it does have a good mix of like weapons that are sword / axe or hammer type things, and then they also have different types of projectile weapons like bow and arrows, and I think there's a couple other ones I can't remember, but it's unique. It's not just like stereotypical like a pistol and a machine gun, and it's definitely got a beautiful art style, and the music is very good too. But this was one of probably the earliest indie games that like really got a good reputation, kind of like Limbo, as like the indies could really, be really well-crafted games. They don't have to have AAA budgets to make a great experience, and so I'm glad to see that this actually got a physical release. I'll leave this other one for last because I have a lot to talk about that. Victor Vran is a game that I got on the Switch. I already owned this on the PlayStation 4, but with these Diablo-type games, action RPGs, I could see real significant benefit of having Diablo clones as Nintendo Switch, basically a handheld system. So I went ahead and bought this. I think I got it for $14.99 too, which was a really decent deal for a game like this. It plays very similar to Diablo. and I had a feeling that if I let too much time go by, it'd get really hard to find this, especially for the Switch. Lastly, this is the game that I would consider probably one of my favorite games of this past year is SteamWorld Dig 2. If you get a chance to buy this, whether it's on PlayStation 4 or the Switch, I would highly recommend it. It is an awesome game. I don't really know how to describe why it's so good. It's just another one of those types of games, like I just said for Bastion. Like I was just excited to play it again. Like let a day go by, and like when I get a chance to play some hours in some games, this is the one I wanted to play. That doesn't happen very often for me. I usually find games to be kind of mediocre, and I don't like to just go through the motions in games, but this really pulled me in. It's got unique gameplay where you're just trying to accumulate resources, and then those resources that you dig up, you can purchase things that make the game a little bit easier. It's kind of like a Metroid style game. I would think you could probably describe it as that. There's some areas where you dig further down into the ground, and you go into like these little morphing chambers where your character accumulates or develops like a new attribute, a new trait that makes things a little bit easier. So it is kind of like a Metroid game in that sense. But I like this one a lot better than SteamWorld Dig. This is the first one. I don't know what it is about it, but I could see myself playing this again. It was really, really good experience, and it tells a decent. It's like playing, like if you ever played Portal 2, like if you thought going into Portal 2 that like there's no way this game could be a good story, but then it turned out Portal 2 was an awesome story. It's kind of like that with this game. Like you just think that, okay, this is just like a digging type Minecraft style type of game, but it's not. It also told like a pretty decent story, and they just were able to kind of pull it all together really well. So I highly recommend this game. This is probably one of my favorite games of this year, and you probably can still get it for around $20 to $15. So definitely track it down if you can, if you're looking for more Switch games to play. But anyway, those are the games that I picked up. This will be like my part 1 video, so there will be some more to come.